I wanted to do a video looking at sports/race car body design from one particular perspective, and that is the balance and use of straight lines and curved lines, as well as angled shapes and rounded shapes. So you can really analyze any car body design using those analytic techniques. That's not the only way to analyze design. There are a lot of ways. There are a lot of different aesthetic principles that are applied, obviously, right? But that's one of them. And psychologically, the straight line and the angled shape, so any shape that has hard angles and edges, right, represents the masculine. It impresses us at a psychological level as being a masculine characteristic of the design. By contrast, curved lines and rounded shapes we perceive unconsciously as being feminine. So just using those two basic principles, you can analyze a car body design in terms of how it balances those masculine and feminine qualities. So is it all rounded? Is it all curved lines and rounded shapes? Is it all really straight lines and angled shapes? Or does it balance the two? I want to show you a design that I view as being like totally masculine. Then I'll show you a design that I view as being really feminine. And then a design that I view as being really well balanced between the two. This is a Ford GT40. I apologize. I don't remember what year it is, but it's mid to late 60s, right? This was a muscle car. It's almost like they carved the design out of a slab, right? So look at this design. It's all, except for, this very slight curve. It's mostly like straight lines, hard angles, right? We don't see rounded forms really. Hard angles on the windshield, right? So this I view as being like a hyper masculine design. This is the Porsche 356 Carrera, and I would view this from my perspective. I view it as being an implied slab. So I view it as being sort of like based on the slab design. But what Porsche has done is they've rounded. You'll see here, like where you would normally see angles and straight lines, they're rounding all the corners. Everything's rounded here, right? You don't see hard edges. This is rounded in the back. Even the compartment here is rounded. I have noticed that like many or most of the Porsche body designs that I've ever looked at, that's a design principle they're applying. They're rounding all the edges, right? They're rounding all the corners. That's what makes Porsche designs look so elegant, right? It's sort of implying the masculinity, but it's rounding everything to bring in the femininity. Now, for me personally, I find Porsche designs to be less satisfying because I view it as being too imbalanced, right, to the feminine side. I would find it more satisfying if they balance the roundness with some hard angles and edges and lines, some straight lines. But anyhow, so this is an example of something that's really rounded, and I would view as being a far more feminine design. Now, this is the Ford GT40 race car. This car I view as being highly balanced, right? So you see there are a lot of like the front here, they've rounded what it's an implied hard edge, but it's rounded. So it's a rounded front end. You in the back, this is where they bring in the real masculinity. It's straight line here, and it's a hard angle on this corner. You see hard angles on the windows. You see nice gradual curves here. So I view this as the back window. It's got some hard edges here. So I view this design as being balanced between masculine and feminine design elements. And for me personally, I view this, I find this to be one of the most satisfying sports or race car designs that I've ever seen. So I would welcome, I really would love to hear anyone else's insights, comments, ideas on this. Feel free to comment. Thanks.